what did I do last week? I didn't do good at all last week. If you ask me, I had some wins, but I'm not where I want to be. But I'm just doing the things, but I'm gonna get there. I'm not gonna get defeated. And so I've been revving up my my spiritual development, and I've been changing some more things because it's something that I'm doing, and I don't know what it is yet, but I'm trying to change some stuff around to try to figure out what I need to do different. It's something I need to do different, and so and I have incorporated back because I know that I need to hear something when I work, and I did realize that when I was doing all those things, I had something in the background speaking to me, like Eric Thomas and stuff. So I have started where I'm working to put that back in my background so I can hear it, and so that I work more better that way. So yeah. And so that's where I'm at right now.
Hi guys, I'm going real quick. Let's see. Last week was okay. Didn't hit the things that I wanted to hit, but I definitely just reflect on it. I think on yesterday, what I did was I just looked at last week, and then I wrote down, I was like, okay, what are the 5 things I'm going to focus on this week? So I just did 5 things that I want to focus on. Like 1 thing spiritually, 1 thing physically, 1 thing business, 1 thing personally, and mentally. And then broke that down to, okay, what are my tangible items I'm going to do, right? So what's tangible that you can do? And then just like made sure like, okay, so we're going to wake up and do it. Right. So like this morning, I'm so excited because it's like, okay, I did my like 5 push-ups and my 25 crunches and then did a little extra, and it's like that, just like, oh, okay, check. It's like, all right, this is gonna build. And so excited. But yeah, just broke down things, looked at yesterday and last week, reviewed over like, hey, it's a new day, like new day, new mercies, new grace. So it's gonna be a great day. And then just 1 thing I'm documenting like now is Mondays. In corporate, I didn't like Mondays, but in business, I love Mondays, right? Because it's fresh, it's new, it's like, oh my gosh, all the hope for the week, right? It's like, okay, how do I bring that into every day? And so just gonna continue to document that. But that's what I'm working on. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go. Hey, y'all. So last week for me was not my week at all. Like last week was actually a really bad week. Not even with like my business, but just like with life in general. Like I had a lot of stuff going on, a lot of events, graduations. It was just a busy week. But just this month in general just hasn't been my month. And I've just been realizing that like in comparison to my other months that I've had in business, like it just hasn't been my month. But I've also been realizing like, not that necessarily that's my fault, but that I can control what is my month and what is not my month, and just still being able to focus and get stuff done, even with everything that's going on. So I just been trying to get back to like when I was going diamond, like that month I was going diamond, like I was really committed. I had energy. I was motivated. Like it was just something about the month of March and just trying to figure out what it was that month and get back to where I used to be when I was still going, regardless of what was going on. So I did some journaling and stuff this weekend and some reading this morning. So just getting back focused. I'm not going outside this week. I'm not doing none of that. So just really getting my business back to where I want it to be, because this month, it just hasn't been the month that it should be. So
let's talk about that. Let's talk about moving and shaking in the midst of doing things. That is a skill. I would tell you that is a skill that you have to desire and focus on. And I think for me personally, that skill has come from thirst. My number 1 priority is to ensure that my business is flourishing. So I am always, and I think that is the question you have to ask yourself. What is your number 1 priority? And so that's how, even being at a family event, forever, Jesus, being able to sit there and still send messages. Why? Because it's a priority for me. And so this is cute. And I know everybody over here gigi and haha, and I can do that too. But in the midst of that, I'm going to go ahead and send 20 messages. In the midst of that, I actually went outside at the event while they was getting ready to eat. And I sat down and I sent 30 messages before I came back inside. Why? Because it's important to me. And so the question is, can you put yourself in the midst of where you don't get so excited? And this is for everybody. Thanks for sharing that, Amaya. Or you don't get so excited that you are back in the midst of things and events that you forget how important your business is to you. And what's so crazy is people are not going to understand. I mean, I think at this point, my family does understand because I've been doing this for 8 years. But people are not gonna, what are you doing? Why are you going outside? Why, like, what, put your phone down. So having those conversations in the beginning, because it is rough in the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, it can be tough to truly get them to grasp it and then get to a point where you just don't care. And it's like, if you can't support this, then we can't. I just can't, because it's that important to me. You don't pay not a bill in my house. You know what I'm saying? So if you cannot grasp this and respect it and all that jazz, then we can't do it. Now it's a difference between me just not being present at all and me being in my phone the entire time. Then you could be like, okay, Rachel, breathe a little bit, you know, but not me put my head down every 30 minutes to check my messages. And that's another thing. Check your messages, not your timeline. You know what I'm saying? Like, put yourself in a discipline where you're not just scrolling on Facebook, but you're working. And if you focus on working, it'll actually produce fruit. And so that is a skill. I will tell you, that is a skill and a muscle that you have to develop, being present in the midst of events, because people will go MIA. People still do it. I still see it happen from leadership, from people who've been here for years, because it has to be a priority. It almost has to be like, I've heard people talk about your business being a child. Could you imagine not paying attention to your child? No, like not at all. I need to make sure my child is my 14-year-old went outside without telling us where he was going. He definitely brought his butt back inside and sat right at my table, because we don't do that. We communicate. And so it's the same thing with your business. You communicate, right? You want to make sure that your business is okay, everything that is going all right, and that you're taking care of it in the midst of still having stuff going on. Have you ever been somewhere? I mean, I know, oh yeah, I don't have kids, but have you ever been somewhere with a kid or taking care of a kid and the kid go missing, or you don't know what's up with the kid? That's a problem. Like, even if we having fun, I need to know where this kid is and what this kid is doing. It's the same thing when it comes to your business. What is your business doing? Have you done the things that you need to do for your business? You're not off today. So if you're not off today and haven't decided to take the day off and did not plan for it and didn't get up early and send your messages or whatever, you need to figure it out. And that's the biggest thing. Can you still figure it out even though you have all these things going on? And to be honest, when I have things going on, my content is popping. And then because my content is popping and people are looking, it gives me the opportunity to have more conversations. Hopefully that's helpful.
Yeah, that is. I'm gonna tell you, I was on vacation this weekend, and I hardly ever get on 6 a.m. Everybody know 6 a.m. Brittany's not getting on. But Friday, I got up and I got on Rachel 6 a.m. because I had to prioritize and get my work in before the day started and got crazy or got away from me or whatever. I signed a loyal customer, sent carts out, had calls, still did everything that I needed to do while I was in the midst of, a wedding and, helping decorate. Like, we had, help set up the church and things like that. But I made sure that I got my work done. I made sure that I, whatever appointments that I had already spoke with Rachel and let her know, like, we have a leadership meeting. I had already spoke with her and let her know that I wasn't going to be, able to attend that. And so that's the communication piece. So, like, if you aren't going to be able to be present, just communicate with your leadership, so they're not wondering, where you are, or, like, why you're not showing up. and things of that nature. But it is a priority, and it's not something that I used to do. Like, I did have to grow into this. There's been plenty of times I went on It Works vacations and didn't send a message. So like conferences and stuff, didn't send a message. So that is something that is a skill and a muscle, and it comes with the prioritizing of your business, for real. And I'm gonna say this. I was having a conversation with a couple of my aunts, and they were like, they've dibbled and dabbled in network marketing, and they are just loving the fact of, watching me flourish and things of that nature. We were having a conversation, and I was just saying, I love the profession of network marketing. And so that is where my grit, my determination, or part of it comes from, my resilience, because I love the profession. I was blessed to be able to be a part of a great company with a great product. But I actually love network marketing. And so can you fall in love with network marketing so that you can do the things that it is that you need to do, no matter where you are, no matter what, no matter whatever? Because when you think about a doctor, you think about somebody who's doing something that they're passionate about or that they love, they don't care about what hospital they work for. They don't care about what clinic or what the task, the mundane things they have to do. They're they are focused on, or they are, excited about being able to be in that profession. So can you fall in love? Well, yeah, okay. Can you fall in love with the profession of network marketing? And that's where it comes, into like reading those, like GoPro, and reading your personal development and stuff like that. Like I watched The Rise. I know we did that. We watched that for a movie night or whatever, but just the rise of the entrepreneurship, or the entrepreneur, and just really taking a really hard look at the perks that we get as network marketers, and can you fall in love with the actual profession so that you can do what it is that you need to do to get what you need or want from this.
Good morning, everybody. I don't hear nobody talking, so I'm gonna go ahead and say what's on my mind real quick. I didn't do exactly what I needed to do last week because I ended up going on prom, but as we say, that's an excuse. I'm just gonna say to the team, don't stop digging for that coal to turn into that diamond, because you be so close that one little nick left in there, and there you go. And the reason I say that is because I'm going executive this month, but I'm pushing for Ruby anyway. And I didn't even know how close I was until my upline called and said, girl, did you know? So no matter what's going on, as Rachel said, you always got to put your business first. And I just want to say thank you, because you did put that into perspective for me. You said treat it like a child. Now I got a whole different perspective on this business, because you got to pay your kids attention and things got to get done. So I want to say congratulations to everybody on all their wins, and anybody who hasn't gotten where they want to be, it's still time. Take your time, go at your own pace, and just make sure you are always on your P's and Q's when it comes to your business. I'm done, y'all.
All right, I'll go next. So I had a good week last week. I'm very, very critical of myself, but I said I was retiring the critical and becoming a coach. So I had a good week last week. I'm gonna have a better week this week. I'm excited because just reading Gideon and I Declare War, like I'm changing the perspective on how I look at things and how I speak over my week.
speak over my business and my life in general. So I'm doing some things this week to change my focus, get some clarity on some things, and take a different stance with my battle. Like she said in Gideon, like just taking a stance of victory. Like I'm not worried about how things are going to pan out, because as long as I do the work, he'll fill the gap, because he's a gap filler. And so I'm excited. I'm really excited. I'm understanding some things and why things are the way they were. Like Rachel was talking about me earlier, and she's like, "Are you still in your feelings about customers?" And I was like, "No, no, it's okay. Every day it's getting better, because it is. It's getting better every day. And just because it's not where I want to be does not mean that I'm doing anything. I'm not failing." Because that's something that I would usually be like, I feel like I'm failing, but I'm not failing. I'm learning every day, and I'm growing in different areas of my life. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the new, okay, in general, new customers, new DTs, and new revelations. So I'm excited for this week and to end this month strong.
Thank you, Robin, for that, because I be beating myself up and say I'm failing over here. Because I'm not doing the thing. But I feel like I'm not where I'm supposed to be. So I be over here just beating myself up and go like, I'm failing. I'm not doing the thing. I'm not where I'm supposed to be. And so thank you very much for that. I got a new perspective on that now, not to beat myself up so much. About that, and just keep doing the things that I'm doing, because I do the things every day, so they coming. I just got to keep doing the things. So thank you.
No problem.
Let me offer some perspective on this. I know I've said this before, but I want to offer another visual. It's been a while since I've said this, because I remember the person I said it to, and she's no longer here. So here's the thing. So maybe you should take the advice, because listen, so I really want you guys to view this, because what Miss Yanni said is just real life. People beat themselves up. Does it make sense to beat yourself up? That makes no sense whatsoever. And if you are physically beating yourself up when the world, or let's just say the enemy, he comes to steal, kill, and destroy, how do you stand on your feet when you've already done the job for him? You've already done it. So anything that he brings forth will knock you off your feet. So even in the midst of not feeling certain, even in the midst of not feeling, this is what journaling is all about. So I love that Amaya said that, because you have to go and journal. You don't speak it. Like, you don't want to speak those things over your life. And so it's so much better to jot them down. Like, I've had the days where I had to get all of the negative thoughts out of my mind and then start to speak life. But I couldn't physically verbally say those things, because then I'm actually speaking those things over my life. And so even if you feel like you're not doing very well, maybe write that down and just get a woe is me little out, just get it out. Everything bad happening to you, and Jesus, why me, and blah, blah, blah. And then maybe go read whatever you're reading for the day and fill yourself up, because maybe you need to empty yourself of all that nastiness so that you can actually be filled up. Because a lot of times what people do is they get up in the morning and they think they're about to have Jesus time, but the foundation that they're building on top of is not very good. It's not a good foundation. They're building on top of all the negative self-talk. They're building on the top of all the negative things that other people have said, or the lack of success, or whatever. And so you're not truly able to truly build, because you are beating yourself up. You're talking down to yourself. I mean, even on my worst day, I'm killing it. And best believe I'm going to tell myself that. I'm going to figure out a way to tell myself that, and I will catch myself. If I be like, oh my God, like, it just be like, like, girl, you are doing so good. Like, you are doing so well, even if it's not where I desire for it to be. Because if I don't hype myself up, if I don't speak life into myself, what do I expect from everything else around me? What do I expect? I mean, yes, God sends me different encouragements throughout the day, But the enemy, he's seeking who he can devour. And if you're down already, he like, I just got to touch her and she over with. Like, that's easy. That's easy. She already did most of the work for me. And so think about that. If you're beating yourself up, like think of the wisdom of beating yourself up. If you are beating yourself up, how are you equipped to even take on the day? How are you equipped to take on your children, your spouse? This is the ticking time bomb, right? This is the, oh, if you just one person say one thing to me, like, really? Like that's you are so out of control. Like a person who, because I've been there, just out of control. Just one thing today. Like that's you have no control whatsoever. Like you're saying that if somebody else has the ability to come in and just take you off your feet. So oh, okay, what do you want to say, Brittany?
That I was just gonna tell that story that you just told, because this was a conversation that we had at Monday Meetup, and it was just like, how are you, like, why are you doing the enemy's job for him? Like, you beating yourself up. How can you protect yourself when you beat up? Like, how can you guard against anything and you're already beat down by the things that you're doing to yourself? So he has no reason to come visit you. And so I want you guys to get into a place to where you expect, like, you almost feel some type of way if he ain't knocking at your door. Because if he's not knocking at your door, you ain't doing what you're supposed to do. Like, you ain't, like, you're not walking in your calling. Like, he don't have to bother you. Like, for one, you've already beat yourself up, or for two, you're not on the path of what, like, you're not walking in your greatness. You're not walking in your calling. You're not doing what God placed you here for. And so, because he can't be everywhere, because you didn't already took yourself out, he can go and take or knock on somebody else's door. So I want you guys to get into a place to where you almost feel some type of way if he's not coming for you, because that means you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
So I get it's first nature, like, it just what it is. Oh my God, I'm just beating myself up because I just messed up. But it's against the grain to speak life into yourself. And so be okay with being abnormal, like speak life into yourself. Like, for example, this is something that's really big for me in parenting. Like when you see your kids do something wrong, oftentimes you want to speak to what's wrong instead of what's right. And that's bad, because you're actually reinforcing the wrong things instead of speaking to the things that you truly desire. And we kind of talked about that in I Declare War this past Saturday. Bible study that we're doing is, your actions, is your actions really bringing forth what you desire, or is it going against what you say you really want? Right. So it's like, oh, I want to be good in this business. I want to do well, but you ain't sent out one message. Like, what do you mean? Do you really want to do well in this business? Oh, I want to close this promotion this month, but you ain't been on one power hour this month. Like you're not going above and beyond. You're not asking for help. So how can you truly say that when your actions are not congruent to what you really want? And so how can you get your actions in alignment and cast down that pride? Because a lot of times it's pride that's blocking you from getting what you really need. Even I would even say something as simple as, and I don't know, you might have done this, and those maybe on here may have done this, but if you're struggling and you're not getting what you want to get, you may need to go ahead and be like, hey, like I need an extra meeting. Can we just kind of go through my messages? I want you to hear like my mindset, and let me see. And it might be that you need to take a moment. It might be that you need to switch the way that you're sending messages. It might be your follow-up game. Like it might be something that your oversight can share with you to show you what you can do better, instead of just sitting around like, I just figured it out. I just got to figure this out. No, I'm not that person. I'm sitting here trying to strategize. True strategizing is really seeking the help that you need in order to get to where it is that you need to go, and using communication in order to get there. And so, it's that solution focus right there. But yeah. I was actually going to look at my stats from this week. If y'all don't know how to do that, if you go to your downline activity and you go to enrollment date, and I am going to do top enrollers today too, though. I haven't done that in a few weeks. and you go back and you select a custom range for the length, and you click search, and then you actually sort by enroller name, and you can find your name and see what you did, which is what I'm about to do, because I have no idea, because I don't be keeping track no more after I complete my steps. So you can actually go in and see how you did. And so I actually go through and I'll do this for our top enrollers this week, but 3, 4. So yeah. All right, so let's focus forward. What's up for this week? Like, what's the plan? What's the strategy? If there is anything else that you need to check yourself on or get your mind in the right place in order to move past it so that you can go forward to where it is that you're supposed to go? Like, what is it? What do you need?
Okay, well, I'm gonna talk. Basically, well, first off, this week for me, I have been focusing on just basically my follow-up and basically remembering why I started. And the reason why I say that is because I'm making like a lot of different changes in my life that were required. So it's just basically trying to do my business no matter what's going on and no matter how crazy my life is right now. So I did my meeting with Shanice. She was basically telling me to, keep enforcing with my follow-up. She was saying that was like one of my biggest things, like messaging wasn't my issue. Just remaining consistent. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. But basically just remaining consistent with my follow-up. Like I said, no matter what's going on. So that's what I'm working on this week, y'all.
Let's talk about how you do that.
I know for me, I had to really just sit down and kind of just make a schedule as far as when I'm going to do what. And the reason being is because I have a habit of, like, if I'm trying to do more than one thing at the same time, I never complete one thing. So just setting certain times to make sure I follow up with these people at this time and just kind of keeping track better. So that's been helping me.
All right, let's be honest. Who on here is not keeping an hourly calendar? I keep hearing this is reoccurring. It's a lot of people who hear a whole bunch of tips about how I'm gonna say I, but I say we're supposed to be functioning at this higher level, and the implementation and the building on things. Like it's the implementation, because somebody sent me a message this morning, was like, how is you putting her on blast? Is she gonna her camera ain't on, so she's not gonna give it away. But she sent me a message this morning, said, I finally put my phone on do not disturb and send messages. And I was like, girl, what in the world? Like, what? How long? Like, really? Oh, I did so good. I got so many messages out. And I was like, Lord, like, so, okay, let's talk about implementation. Let's talk about this. She just sent me a message. Let's talk about implementation. We are not saying things for our health. So I'm so glad you said that, Jokel. I'm not trying to pick on you or anything, because you ain't the only one. But my hourly calendar is upstairs. But y'all, it's been for years. For my entire business, my calendar has been important. I mean, and I learned this when I was in my job, and I kept an hourly calendar back then for my business, for my job, and it just translated over into my real life because I realized how on task it kept me when I was in my job. So it was something that I automatically just brought over to the business. It was a skill that I brought over, and I've been doing it ever since I started this business. It is a non-negotiable. Like an hourly calendar is a non-negotiable. Like it is. It just is a non-negotiable. And everything from the time you wake up to the time I work out, to the time I cook dinner or whatever, everything is in my calendar. So I have direction. When you are going through the midst of a day, your brain is not that good. Okay, like I'm just gonna be real. Your brain wants to be told what to do, especially when all these things are being thrown at it. So it's easier to just look at the calendar like 8:30. Okay, workout. I gotta work out. You know, and if you need to set alarms in your phone, like set alarms in your phone to just kind of give you a heads up so that you can be reminded. But let's talk about the importance of implementation in doing the things and sticking to what it is that you said you're going to do. And then asking for help. If you need help figuring out your schedule, ask for help. Like, just be like, I need some suggestions. Like, I really, like, for real, I need suggestions. Like, how can I block my time? Like, there's YouTube, maybe I need to make it, but there's YouTube videos on like how to block time, like how parents block time, which I think is to each his own. But like my family, we have a family walk every single day. And this is big in terms of communication between my spouse and I, so that we can make sure. Hey, Kamira. Oh, okay. Hey, so we can make sure that we're on one accord. I thought if you had something to say, that's cool. Come on, girl. So we can make sure that we're on one accord. This is a communication thing. Like it's big. It's big, and everybody's schedule looks different. So let's just be clear: everybody's schedule is gonna look different.
So I know for me, I wasn't scheduling in my workout time. And so when I was talking to Rachel the other day, she was like, "Is your workout time in your calendar?" I'm like, "No." She was like, "Why? Like everything needs to be in your calendar. Like every single thing needs to be in your calendar." And this is something that I actually fought for a long time is keeping an hourly calendar. But when I did, first of all, you need to flex the muscle and strengthen it for when you do need it. A lot of times in the beginning, we're like, oh, we don't need an hourly calendar right now. We ain't that busy. But you want to be able to create that muscle and create that habit. So when you do need it, it's already there. It's already instilled. Because I'm gonna tell y'all one thing. I need a calendar, like, and I ain't got no kids. So y'all here with kids, I know y'all need a calendar because I need a calendar. Like, Robin texted me this weekend and was like, and asked me, so I said, I'm gonna tell you time as soon as I get back to my calendar. And so, look, listen, you guys need an hourly calendar, and just don't sit here and get all the tips. I'm gonna tell y'all, that was me. I sat here, I sucked up all the knowledge and took forever to implement it. But I'm gonna tell y'all, as soon as I implemented everything that I was learning, my business completely changed. So don't just sit here and absorb the knowledge. Like, knowledge is not power. It's the applied knowledge that's the power. So it's the applied knowledge, applying the things that you're learning, putting, like Rachel said, take it one thing at a time. Apply something new every single week so that you can create the habits and just pile on things. Because if you try to change everything at once, it's not going to work. So just take one thing a week and start there and build on top of it. But I'm gonna tell y'all, apply the things that you are learning, because as soon as I did that, my business completely changed. So, and I was sitting on a lot of knowledge and just wasn't doing anything with it. But as soon as I started to make the steps and press towards the mark, everything changed. So just start implementing the things that you're learning. Don't just sit here and soak it up like a sponge and don't use it.
Hey, everybody. And I'll hit on that too, Brittany. I think a big thing for me when I was getting started using my hourly calendar, like a lot of people that we're around or we hang out with, they're not organized. So when we start trying to get organized, like it makes us feel some type of way, or people start to comment on it, like, why are you on the schedule? Or I need you. Like right now, it's a big thing with my grandpa. Like he was used to me just, whenever he need me to go to Popeyes, Travis can go make a run for him, like go to the store. I'm like,
yo, I got a schedule, so I can go at maybe 10, 11 on Tuesday, but you got to let me know. And it was hard at first because it caused a little conflict. He wasn't used to it. Like, my grandpa's never used a planner, and that's who raised me. So my homegirls, my friends, my cousins, they don't use a planner. Like, most people that we hang with and know, they know when they got to go to work and when they got to go to class. And that's about it. Everything else is just kind of free for fall. The kids free for fall. And it's just a mess. But like, you have to make that decision that I'm going to use this calendar, because I was a girl, like, I got my hourly, I put the stuff in there. And it's like, but you're not using it. That's the implementation, the execution. So you have to decide that even when you get the hourly planner and it's cute and you got the design you want, like, you gotta implement it. You have to really use it. And it starts with the decision. So like, even keeping my planner on my person all the time, like, that's something I personally had to do. Because if I don't keep it, I'm not gonna jot things down in the moment. I'm gonna overbook, overlook different things, and it's just a mess. So like, keeping it on your person is helpful. The hourly alarms in my phone helps a lot. And honestly, if you organize your time a lot better and put in your hourly calendar, you'll physically see the gaps of time that you have. So it's really just about organizing that time so you can see the give and take. Like, it's not, oh, I got to work my business all day or in all my free time. But if you never see what gaps you truly have, then you'll never be able to fully get in a solid, focused hour of just work. It's always going to feel like I'm doing everything in the midst. So I just wanted to throw that in there too.
And let me speak to the moms real quick. Oh, go ahead, Jokel. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, and then even when you're trying to like schedule everything out, not everybody's gonna understand like why. Like, I actually told a friend, I was like she'll call me randomly and be like, "Oh, well, can you do this for me? Can you run?" I was like, "No, like, this is a set time. Can I do it at this time?" And she was looking at me like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "I have a business. Like, I literally have certain things that I have to do at certain times. Like, I can't just jump up and do that." And a lot of people in my life, they look at me crazy because they're so used to me running like a chicken with his head cut off. And I'm like, no, like, I have to, like, because my mind is like everywhere. Like, no, I have to sit here and, get everything in order. Like, I can't be there for my children in my head everywhere. Like, no.
That's a whole deeper conversation. That's a deeper conversation because that goes back to order of hierarchy. And I know a lot of times as a single parent, you feel like you owe your village. And you don't owe them anything. And until you free yourself from that, you will constantly be in turmoil, in conflict with your time. So you don't owe them anything, but that doesn't mean you don't respect and do what you can. But feeling like you owe them, so you have to say yes, that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother conversation. But I am going to say what I was going to say. We're going to get to that. We're gonna leave that for another time. I'm going to say, when it comes to being a parent and blocking time and not, for example, basketball season. Okay. Listen, oh Lord, I just need prayer during basketball season every time, whether it's the real season, summer ball. I just need prayer through it all because it's so sporadic and it's not scheduled the way it's supposed to be. Anyways, it's just a hot mess to me personally. And so there's times where, like, the day before I'll have a full schedule, and the day before I find out about something and I have to adjust. And so even though I have blocks of time, it may be that I have to tend to my kids in the midst of my block of time. And so then I have to become a strategizer, right? I have to become strategic. I have to put myself in a place where, okay, I want to work this power hour, but I got 3 kids. And sometimes I don't know if I have a teenager or not. I don't know. Sometimes I just realize I have 3 toddlers in my house. And so I have to just either pray or whatever, or I set them up. Okay, so I'm going to make sure they're fed. I'm going to make sure that they have a movie going. And if I have to just step out, I'm going to remove myself. Okay. Because let me tell you, if you got toddlers and you don't use a high chair, you're crazy. I'm just a bit like, you're crazy. If you have a toddler and you do not use a high chair, you are legit crazy. And teach your kid how to sit in a high chair, because they're gonna have to sit their butt down in school anyway. So they need to know how to sit for an hour and be able to be attentive to something. And so we use high chair time. They're probably not in a high chair right now, but we use high chair time where they sit in a high chair. It's not all day is not playtime. It's just not. And so it even puts you in a position to where you begin to discipline and put your kids in a position to set them up for success. Because if your kids can't sit still for an hour, they can't go to, y'all have seen it. You go to story time and kids clowning, they be like, you can't sit what do y'all do at home? Like what, or you see the kids in the class, the teachers be talking about, you know what I'm saying? Praise God, Lord, don't let it be our kids. But it starts at home. And so even though it may be frustrating, because I'm gonna be honest, being a parent and being repetitive can be a lot. It can. Okay, I've been doing this for 15 years, and so I get it. It can be a lot. It's a lot. But if you don't repeat yourself and be repetitive, you will lose all of the work that you did. You get what I'm saying? Like you'll be like, so that's what people do in the summertime. They let them kids just do a free for all. Like this, what Trevor was saying. This is what we snapped out of this about 2 years ago as a team. I think it was 2 years. It was like no more, at least personally. I said, oh, you still have bedtimes. We still have a structure. We still have a schedule. We ain't just sitting up all day. You're not playing the game all day. You're not doing, like, we're not doing that. We are not doing that. We will still have structure. My kids still watch their little school. Why? Because we play all day. So they still have, like, you want to give them structure in the midst of it all. And so just because you have a block of time and you have to watch your kids, or you have to tend to your kids, I'm saying watch and tend to your kids or whatever, that's not an excuse not to get work done. You just have to be strategic and figure out a way so that you can master it. Because if you're not strategic and don't figure out a way, you will never master it. You'll never master it. You'll never overcome it. And so you have to fight through it and get it done. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I don't know why I feel like I'm supposed to go back to this. If you have not decided to implement a house day, you need to do it, especially if you run your household. You need to do it. Even if you don't run your household, you can do like a half a day and just take your duties. Like if you don't completely run the household, then just take half a day and just do your whatever you're supposed to be doing, right? Because I'm sure, I don't know, washing the dishes, folding. I mean, everybody got clothes to wash. Like wash your clothes or whatever. You're supposed to mop, do all that stuff on one day and get it out the way, because you will be sitting on a meeting like, praise the Lord, it's clean down here. So I can't, but I would be like, I would be looking at this door like, do you see all these toys? Like, it just would frustrate me because my house is a hot mess. Like I walk by and it's like, oh, I would love to clean this up right now, but I got to get to my next meeting. It's frustrating. Like walking in, seeing all them dishes, be like, pray don't nobody come in my house right now. And my house is a hot mess. Like, so if you have not implemented that day, like, Lord, just implement the day. Just be obedient, implement the day and see how it goes. Do it for a month. You don't like it, then stop, whatever.
So, hey y'all, hey squad. So last week, it was decent. Last week was a decent week. However, I didn't enroll. I think I enrolled one person, and I was tracking a lot of my progress. The way that Rachel had shared, with the way that you shared a while ago, and I gave myself the grace to not feel bad if I didn't do everything, because when I do have a great day, then I'll go back and then catch up on the work that I knew that I missed. So like one day, if I didn't get up, I got up, 5 host posts, and then the next day that I finished all of my host posts, and I go back and add those extra 5. So like, that's been freeing me of the guilt of not running the business on an excellent level like I would want to. But I'm going to go ahead and get that planner. I've been kind of postponing and waiting it out. I ran out of space in my personal planner a while ago. So, yeah, I have high expectations for this upcoming week, and I'm excited about it.
I missed it. Y'all sitting here silent. Anybody else gonna say? Oh, I missed it. Lord.
Terry was talking and then it just went blank, I think.
That's what I figured, but come on, let's roll. 13 minutes. Who else we got? I know for me personally, it's a big week. It's going down. It's promotions popping. I'm working on a new diamond. So I'm excited about that. So that is the new, we're not reading right now when I get off of here. Okay. So that's exciting to me. And so that's what I'm focused on, you know, getting up and updating my chart every single morning, knowing my projected volume is important, and staying the course when it comes to my volume, and not going over to other places, getting my 5. So I need 3 more to get my $100. Like there's so many things to focus on. New distributors getting their shopping sprees. There's just, what are we doing? There is always something. There is always something to do. Lord, help Jesus. In the midst of all the craziness when it comes to my life, like it's just always something to do, and it just keeps me busy. So I have my rest times, I have my family time. It's all in my schedule. It's all in my schedule.
Tell y'all this, working with Rachel will definitely give you perspective on how busy you are not and how much you be making up in your head that you can't get stuff done. Like I went and had a work session with her, and it was just like she has so much going on in the midst, but she was still able to sign 2 little customers. Was it 2 while we was there? Yeah, like 2 loyals while we were, you know, working and stuff. And so it just really gives you a lot of perspective on busy. And I don't know why it became like the thing to be busy, but we ain't busy. Like we ain't busy. We just ain't telling our time where to go. That goes back to the hourly calendar. We just ain't telling our time where to go, and our time is telling us where to go. And we're not prioritizing and things of that nature. So I know for me, I'm getting these 5 codes used for my distributors. I'm hey, my focus is recruitment all week. All week long. Focused on getting these distributors in so that I can get my 5, and then they can get their 5 and get they 6, get their shop spree, but then on top of that, get $100. So just the fact that people are able to come in and not only get free product, but get $100, like cash money, like that is so dope. Because I know last month, and you know, Miss Janice, she's not new, but her husband is, and so she was able to get his shopping spree and that $100. I was like so excited for her. And so that is what I'm looking forward to this week, getting my new distributors in and then helping them get their 6, their shopping sprees, and their $100.
Yeah, I'm excited for this week. I'm sorry, Steph. Okay. I'm excited for this week. I'm just like in focus laser mode. Like this month has been a month for me as well, but it's not over. Like it's so much time left in the month. Like I promise y'all, if you feel like it's over, it's not over. So no money left on the table. My birthday is coming up, so I'm getting every $100, and I'm at my newbie's front door. Like, listen, get this $100. Like no money left on the table. Like $100 a week is a lot of money in my opinion. So I'm excited to do that, using my 5 codes and just like really grabbing everything that corporate has put on the table for us to grab, y'all, because we are so capable. Like you don't have to pick one or the other. Like you can use all 5 of your codes and enroll 5 LCs this week. So I know bare minimum 10 enrollments for Travia Gray this week. I'm putting it out there for accountability. accountability. Okay. So yeah, and I think that's another big thing. Like, who's holding you accountable? Like, yes, you can hold yourself accountable, but it's a whole nother level when you put your goals out there to somebody else so they can root for you. Getting on those power hours. So doing more power hours and power 30s and like those come work with me spaces, I think are really good and productive for me. It's just been helpful, like working from my phone on those. So doing more of those this week.
Right along with Atravia, my goal is to get rid of my codes this week, to definitely secure my $100, and just help my team to do the same. I'm on the brink of a brand new Ruby. I'm so super excited for that. We're on the brink for a brand new executive. So we are excited for that as well. So even through the chaos that life is throwing me right now, my excuses don't matter, right? Like, I can't deposit those into my bank account. Even on the days where, kind of like today, like where I don't feel like it, you know, Rachel always says, your feelings are not loyal, you know, like don't lean into that. Cause you know, I'll be honest, I had no intentions of getting on the meeting today, like just because I am in a space right now, just because of things that are going on in my personal life that, you know, like we are trying to work through and whatnot. But coming here gives, I will be honest, when I feel down, getting in these spaces is the best thing for me, right? Like, it's the best thing for me because it just allows you to feel connected, to feel like what we're doing has purpose. So even on those days when you don't feel like it, you get on a power hour, even if it's only for 30 minutes, to feel that connection. Because it helps. Like, it really does help. This month, I'm not gonna say I wasn't beating myself up this month. I think everything else was just, you know, like it does try to take a toll on me, right? Like, and it was the month that has been, in my perspective, has been dry, right? Like, I mean, it's for me, it's been dry. I have my customers, but it's been dry for me from what I'm used to, but I know what it is, right? Like, I know that I haven't given the energy that I normally do just because of what I'm dealing with personally, but it's still no excuse where, regardless of the fact of what I'm going through, I'm going to end the month and complete my steps, right? Like, that's like, you know, some things are non-negotiable. I'm going to complete my steps. And for whatever reason, my business, I don't know why my business loves, like, I guess my business loves adversity and the fight, because it seems like it's always, that's when promotions pop and things happen, is, you know, like through all of that. But I'm just excited for the week. I'm excited to pop promotions. I'm excited to secure shopping sprees. I have, you know, everybody can get $100 this week, right? Like, think about that. Like, what can $100 do for you next week? Like, I need that $100. We're going on vacation in July. So, and we go right after them commissions pop. So I'm just going to let it all sit there and build. So, you know, so I can say that, I can truly say that it works paid for my vacation. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a matter of just staying the course, and through it all, you know, just stay committed and get laser focused this week. Like, really just get the laser focused and dedicate that hour. And the hourly planner works. I'm telling you, like, it works. And don't feel like you got to pretty it up, because when I used to try to pretty mine up, I never used it. And now I just got a highlighter and was like, you know what, just highlight it, because trying to buy all those stickers and stuff was a waste of time.
That is so good. All right. Oh, anybody else before we hop off here? That is good. You show right about it. Show right about it. I know I'm in between calendars. Dropping from one Erin Condren. So I'm gonna give y'all my layout. This is my calendar. And it don't have everything in it. And I try to use different colors, I don't lie. So I try to put Breon stuff in a certain color. I try to put, if I can, I like to color coordinate different things. But if I ain't got no different colors, I'm just gonna do what I gotta do in that moment. But y'all, get your calendar together. And I just popped open a new Erin Condren. Won't he do it? I love my Erin Condren. Praise God being able to afford an Erin Condren. Okay, because listen, this mug is not cheap, but I love it. I love it. I went back and forth between different, and nothing compares to my Erin Condren. It just does not. I go back to her every time. Okay, Condren. I'll text you a link so you can get $10 off. Here go Keisha here in the background. Rachel, you always gotta leave. You sure do. I'm a social influencer, okay? Listen, that's my job. but anyways, so we're gonna hop off here, guys. It's gonna be an amazing week. An amazing week. I sure will. It's gonna be such a good week. And you gotta command. It's almost like you have to command yourself to believe that it's going to be a great week, despite, and then you have to decide to walk by faith and not by sight. And that's a real thing. Like, you have to decide to walk by faith and not by sight. It's a decision to walk by faith and not by sight. It's not, it's regardless of what I see, or regardless of what's thrown at me, regardless of what is going on in my life, I am going to continue to believe what God said is going to happen in my business, in my life, or whatever. And so that's a decision that we all need to make. Decree and declare right now that this will be a great week. I'm decreeing and declaring I will have a new diamond. And I'm not going to say that there's not adversity that I'm already coming against when it comes to building this new diamond. But hey, we know that God is greater, that he's victorious. And so if I believe that, and I'm going to walk in that, then I'm going to walk as if it's already done. And all I have to do is continue to move forward. It takes what it takes. I don't care if I have to sign every single loyal customer. Like, at this point, if I'm committed to it and we're going forth, then we're just going forth. We're just going forth. And so I'm excited about that. Yeah, I don't know how much it'll help you because my life is my life, but I sure will. I could definitely show you a day in the life of Rachel Wiggum. I sure can. I can show you what that looks like so you can see it. I'll post that so you can see it. I'll put it on the team page. Yep, and maybe somebody else can share theirs so that they can get different examples after I post mine. So I'll post mine and then you guys can put yours on there so that they can get different examples. That would be great. All right, let's pray. Let's hop off here. Happy Monday. Shout out to everybody who showed up today. I'm thinking about going back to person, but I think if I go back to person, we'll do half and half. Okay, so we won't leave you guys behind because I know. I got to pray about it though, because just heard about some new COVID cases that just popped up. So we don't just know, y'all, COVID's not gone. Just please be aware that it is not gone. So as much as we want to act like it is, because the world's open, the virus is still alive. So let's pray. Let's hop up here. Yes, dear Heavenly Father, God, we just love you. We exalt you. We just worship you, God. We just thank you for this space, this time. I thank you for every single person that got on this call today, even those who desired but weren't able to, or even got on for just a moment. God, I just thank you for how you are shifting hearts and minds, God. I just pray that you have uplifted and encouraged us today, God, to believe that what your word is true, what your word says is true. God, help us to walk by what you say, not by what the enemy may be throwing into our hearts and minds, or even the discouragement that we throw our own way. God, I just pray discipline over this crew, God, that we begin to take one step at a time, one thing at a time. And then we allow these great habits to build on one another, God. Those who are wanting to implement a calendar, God, I just pray that they find the exact calendar that works for them, the exact hourly calendar that works for them, and they begin to use it, that they keep it on them, that they follow the guidelines on it. And God, those who may feel attached to people that they should not be attached to, that are coming in and messing up their schedule, that they're allowing them to do it. God, I just pray for freedom. God, release them from those situations and those people. Give them the strength and the courage to say no, so that they can say yes to themselves, so that they can say yes to their business. So God, we just praise you. We thank you in advance for all of the loyal customer. We pray over these seeds that we put in the ground this morning for Monday Meetup. God, let them manifest. Let them grow into new host to post, new loyal customers, 100 BV, 200 BV. Yes, Lord. Let them close boxes, God. Let us just walk in the abundance that you have given us. So we just praise you and we worship you and we adore you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Happy Monday,